Okay, so I'm going to go over parent functions and transformations again, and this time without the class, so it'll make it just a little bit easier. And we're going to go over several parent functions and how they transform. And we're going to start with our linear function, and we're going to look at our equation first, which is f of x equals x. So any equation that starts with x is going to be a line, because linear means line. So we have y equals x as our function. And so we're going to start our parent function, meaning that our line starts at 0 and it goes up by 1. So this is our linear parent function. It starts at 0, and my equation just has one x with it. That's what it starts with, as our x. Our second function is going to be constant, and a constant means a number without a variable. So it's just going to give you a number. Right now it's giving you y. Y equals 1. So I'm going to go over here to 1, and I'm going to graph my line. Now, it may give you your x value. If it gives you your x value, if it says x equals, then you're going to have a vertical line instead of a horizontal line, depending on what number that equation gives you. The next parent function we're going to go through is square root function, and this is not the correct function. We have a typo, so it's f of x, and the parent function is the square root of x. So any equation that starts with a square root and x, you're going to start at 0, and your line is going to be going up towards infinity. We then have quadratic, and quadratic is any equation that starts with x squared. And when you start your equation with x squared, you're going to notice that your graph looks like a U-shaped. It's not a very good line, but it will work. And if you remember, your U-shaped line is called a parabola. So your quadratic function is going to have a parabola. We then have exponential, or cube root, sorry, getting ahead of myself. Cube root, so any equation that starts with the cube root of x, your graph starts at 0, and it looks like a elongated S. You've stretched out this S. And so that is what it's going to start with. That's their parent function. You then have cubic, so any equation that starts with x cubed is going to have that vertical version of that stretched out S. So then we have cubic, so and you notice it goes through 0 first. We then have exponential, which exponential is easy because it has the first two letters in exponential. You have e, and then you have to the power of x. So anything that has e, or a number, I know in your worksheet it's 2 to the power of x, is going to start at 0 and increase very rapidly. And that's where it's going to start at, is at 0. You then have absolute value, so any equation that starts with the absolute value of x, your graph is going to look like this, like a V. And it also starts at 0. And then last but not least is the equation that starts with a fraction, and that is going to be your reciprocal. So f equals 1 over x. And if you notice, reciprocal means flip or opposite, so you have two opposite lines. And so any equation that starts with that is going to have that two opposite line. So if you have any other questions, let me know, but I'm going to put this on there, and hopefully that will help you just a little bit.